saw the big collector, big tank inside for the hot water system. This is what feeds that tank. So there are tubes inside of here, and they are collecting the energy from the sun. It's antifreeze, it's a glycol solution that's in those tubes. The little panel there is a solar panel that runs the pump. So it makes sense that when the sun is shining on the panels, the pump is running and it's circulating the water. If the sun is behind a cloud or if it's at night, the pump doesn't run because it's not shining on the solar panel, the photovoltaic panel, and you're also not heating up the water. So it works together. It works very well. It's been so far maintenance free. It works great.
So what types of panels are they?
These are hot water panels. They're a flat panel. There are two types of hot water panels. They're I'm trying to remember what it's called, like evacuated tube panels that are like vacuum tubes. That instead of having this big collector here, they have individual tubes that fit inside the panel. Either way, either one works similarly. The vacuum tube types are more expensive, but I think they're a little more efficient. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I think.
You said it's a water ethyl glycol mixture.
It's a glycol mixture of some sort. It's basically antifreeze.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of antifreeze that if it were to leak into the domestic hot water supply, it wouldn't poison it. It wouldn't be harmful to human health.
Okay.
So far, we've had no leaks. Of course, we have to brush the snow off of it when it snows.
So there's a coil or something inside that big tank.
Right.
That does the heat transfer.
Yep, that's right.
Have you installed this how long ago?
Year and a half.
Oh, so those are.
These are fairly new. This is the newest thing we've got here.
So your old system, you have to replace.
Oh well, we didn't have any solar hot water until just a year and a half ago. We were just relying on our propane-fired hot water heater, a regular hot water heater. But we were saying, well, there are some incentives, and we looked into it. It turned out that not only could we get some focus on energy incentives, but then the Midwest Renewable Energy Association were doing they wanted to do a workshop. So we signed up to be the location for the workshop. So they brought a crew of people that were all students that wanted to learn how to do this. So we got another $1,000 off the labor to put it in because we were a workshop, and they allowed me to attend the workshop for free. So I went through the workshop too. Yes, sir.
About how much it costs per solar heating panel to put in?
I'm trying to remember. I think they were about $6,000 or $7,000 for the whole unit. But I know Cheryl knows the cost on this, and we saved something like $1,600 from the incentive, and then we also got $1,000 off for being at workshop. So it was a real plus. It's really turned out to be a very good unit. Like I said, I have only heard our water heater fire up and run half a dozen times in the last 2 years. So it doesn't run very often. And you can go down and check the temperature on the unit and say, oh, we've got a lot of hot water. I think I'm taking a bath today. As long as my batteries have power to run the water pump. So, although we've got another alternative from taking a bath, and that's this unit right over here. We've got a wood-fired hot tub. A lot of hot tubs, of course, use electricity for the jacuzzi jets and to heat them. But we don't have that much electricity. So instead of doing that, we've got it's just a plain tub. No jacuzzi jets. It's just a barrel. That's all it is. We've got an insulated cover over it. Water's pretty cold right now, probably at over 50 degrees. But I could fire it up, and you have to plan ahead. You have a wood-fired hot tub. It takes several hours to heat up. I've heated it up from having maybe 4 inches of ice on here to being hot enough to get in at 104 degrees in about
to this stuff? Do you do renewables for work?
Oh, Cheryl does. She works in renewables, but I don't. I work for the Department of Natural Resources in their remediation program. So, Superfund, building underground storage tanks, spill response. You bet.
How often do you have to change the water in your hot tub?
I asked the same question of people that do hot tubs, and they said about 3 times a year, not too often. But you do. There's a lot of discussion about chemicals because I didn't really want to put a lot of chlorine in it or anything like that. There's bromine. There's lots of options for controlling bacteria. Probably the best thing to do is make sure that people take a shower before they get in. Or, they're not going in not particularly filthy folk, but it's just Cheryl and I, and I elected to go ahead and use chlorine periodically, and we haven't had too much trouble. It's got to control the pH, the alkalinity, and so it's just like any tub. You got to control it. Make sure that you don't have bacteria in it. The one thing about it is it's a little hard to control the heat. It's not like just turning a dial. You have to kind of get a feel for how much you put in it. It's almost up to temperature. You want to start, closing the firebox off, and you just kind of let it ease up to the right temperature. If it gets too hot, the solution is to turn on the faucet and put some cold water in it. Go ahead and let it overflow and mix it up and get it down to where